So yesterday I read your email and I wasn't actually surprised to read it. Um, because that is the type of reaction I have come to expect from you. I do not appreciate someone threatening violence upon me. Which is what you are doing. That is what you are doing, is threatening violence. I don't know how. I don't quite know how to get you to see how very low that is. I mean, there is okay, and there is, which is what I aim for, and then there is, you are down here with that. So, let me just make sure that we understand something. What attracted both of us to the type of people that I met at Music and Sky is those that understand what sovereignty, what slavery, what liberty is, etc. We are forming the basis of future communities that will outlive collapse of civilization. Okay? Like, this is life and death shit that it affects enormous amounts of people. Okay? So the basis of this has to be secure. And right now, you are threatening to bring in an outside force that is on its way out. It is true. The powers that were, as you like to say, you're threatening to bring those type of people into this very, yes, see, like, that is so low and completely out of integrity to your words. Now, I have extended my hand numerous times. I said, please have a conversation with me. You appear to have false understanding of who and what I am, to the point that you are afraid of me, which is something I do not understand. I do not understand why you would be afraid of me. I have no intention of harm to you or to anyone around you. I do not intend any harm, okay? That was never the reason I approached you, ever. Zero. And it is incredibly unfair that the first thing that you said to me when I approached you, which I was nervous and had written a fucking book to explain I'm not the fucking monster that you think I am. I mean, that wasn't the entire purpose of the book, but hello, you totally prejudged and misjudged me. I had work to do on myself, I admit. You were right about things, I admit that as well. But integrity is incredibly important to me, and it is important to most of the people there. Like people who have put their entire fucking lives, who have left their careers like I have, like you did. I mean, it's integrity that puts us in this spot. And now we're like, okay, we need to kind of come together because this shit is going to come down around us and they're all fucking insane. Okay? So we need to be sane here. And yes, I admit I was in madness a year ago. I cannot even begin to explain how difficult that process was. It was the most difficult thing I've ever gone through in my life. And it's not an understatement of any kind. Those years were difficult. And a year ago, after what happened, because I had found my way back into the light, like fully, like I could feel it to the point that I was being pulled, and I felt the connection again to everything. And then that happened, okay? And it shocked the hell out of me. And I saw you a few days later, and I don't even know what was... It was so difficult, okay? Because on one hand, there was elation, like, holy fuck. And you know. And no matter what I try, even running away, I end up in places where it's just repeated. So this is my path. I'm on it. I've lived in integrity. I was living in integrity when I was drawn to you, following my path. I told you that from the beginning. Why you couldn't hear that, I do not understand. Yes, I was forward in that I told you that I had grown attracted to you. But one thing you should have already understood is that a person at this level of, like, has already mastered control over their urges, okay? I don't understand where you thought I could have been dangerous in that regard. That is a fear in your own head. It doesn't make sense. And when I invited you over to my house, as if, you know, we could meet, because that is what people do. They host other people to their house. I have complete strangers who host me to their house all the time, including elderly women who live alone, who then allow me to stay at their house because within a very short period of time, they trust me. And they can, and they all do. And people of all walks of life and all types of things trust me, Danny. And I do not understand why you are the only one. The only one who wants to see me as some type of you know? Yeah, I threw that one out there and it became a meme, dude. Because of this, it's ridiculous. We are adult, supposedly enlightened. I know I am human beings. Okay? Whatever. We're in these bodies. Okay? You and I can have a conversation together and get along and discover that our differences are not so different. Okay? We may have actual differences, but they're not this much that you would threaten violence. Oh my, like really think about what you're saying and who you're saying it to. I've thought about it. I thought about all the reasons why you would. And if those reasons are true, that's incredibly unfair. There are other ways. You have to be creative. And that's what I've been discovering as we go through this. Like, you have to think creatively about how to get through it. There is still another way, and that is simply the same as I went through. I was baptized by fire. That's what happened. I was burned away. I don't remember anymore what is like missing. There's gunfire all fucking around. This is what we are facing, okay? Violence is very easy for them. We are incredibly rare, incredibly unique. I mean, as the collective we. But also, yes, you and I are both rare. I do not understand why, of all the people, you are the one that, like, this is not fair to me. This is not fair to me. Not at all. It hasn't felt fair that this is like I get that you're a trickster or whatever, and that is likely the only thing that could have worked. I get that, and I'm embarrassed. Okay, I'm embarrassed a little bit. Because that's my own stubbornness, that it would require someone like you. And you think we don't have a connection, and I differ, and we have never had a conversation because you have refused to listen. You have refused to have a two-way conversation where it is... there's no way to properly communicate otherwise. And that's unfair because my time is incredibly valuable. I would say it's more valuable than your time. I can influence more change directly. And I will be necessary. Dangerous is not bad. just because I'm dangerous doesn't mean it's an uncontrolled danger. It's the same as anyone who has gone through training to either do something dangerous or become something dangerous. I have shown and control. Through this growth process. And it is a growth process. I have gone up several rings since being just totally incinerated, and then through that process of death, which was very strange and not fun at all. And then I got out of New Mexico, and I came here, where I've been chasing other dreams that I've had, not knowing where they lead. And I just want to clarify something. None of this is about romantic love or any of that stuff. I mean, all of pretty much those of us in the warrior, like sorcerer, paths, we tend to never find that, because we're always, for one, we are just too masculine for any woman who's not in her purest feminine to handle, and we become scary to them. And you have work to do on yourself. And I've done work on myself. And I think you need to come to that realization that the choices that you've been making are not the choices of a person in their integrity, in their alignment with what they preach. But you do a lot of that, and you even step into talking about the masculine as if you know, and you don't. You know that we're hurting, but like that story, Yeshua told a story about, like, dude gets hurt by the roadside and, gets robbed and beaten, left for dead, and the Pharisee walks by, guy cries out for help, walks past, I'm not going to help that filthy guy. Sadducee walks past, same thing. And it was just a lowly Samaritan woman, a Gentile, right? That helps the man. Probably saves the man's life, right? People get all high and mighty. They think so much of themselves. There's no reason for you to be afraid of me except that like yourself, that I give out lessons, and that you deserve some lessons for how you have treated me through this process, because I arrived there in New Mexico looking to join in with the community, totally capable and willing, with a good amount of resources. And you did not give me a reasonable chance. even though you had the ability to do that. So you talk about how bad men are suffering, but it's as if you enjoy the taste. And so that's where we're at. So I see there's two ways. One is you just pretty much announced your intentions of using an outside force of violence. And I see where that leads. And I think Moses already kind of already did it. So I have to go a little bit bigger. I believe that there's a peaceful solution so that we combine energies. Because I'm out here trying to get things started. And I'm not looking to fight battles with someone who is also trying to do the same type of thing. So, this is where I'm at. This is the region I'm at. I am not going to curtail my movement because you are at another gathering or whatever. I really don't give a fuck. At this point, after extending my hand so many times and waiting for you to show up and accept my invitation of sitting down and figuring out why it is that you have a problem or issue or whatever with me. I announced I was going to show up. I'm not one to sit back in the fucking shadows. And I just don't understand why it's so difficult for you to overcome whatever fear it is that you have. And why you think that in any shape or form that that even matters if I'm around in the vicinity or any of that stuff. So, not only did I go back into the light and kind of go up a couple notches in this, couple rungs. The thing is, I learned through the process, humans have a very small understanding of their role and purpose of life. And as you get higher up in that, and you see infinity, so it's not the same. You can't use their laws, their rule sets on those of us who are way beyond authority. And here is what it comes down to. Here's where it comes down to. I narrowed down authority as defined by these alleged rulers, these alleged authorities, who are really just riding out on the the blood and the sacrifice and the courage of those that signed a document saying "fuck you, King," right? Happy No King's Day, right? And so they're just riding out on that shit. And it's just not their blood, it's not their courage. It's just this established fucking thing that these little rats, you know. And that's what they are. They're useless. They're parasitic too, in a lot of ways, because of the corruption elements. And they know it. They fucking know it. Every fucking bureaucrat, every government worker, if you really honestly get them to talk, they know it. I've been in the back rooms of courtrooms, and jails. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're not special people. Their authority is all riding on this chicken scratch and the courage from some people a long the fucking time ago, right? That's their authority. And everyone that they brainwash since. Now, for you to even bring that up as an option shows that there is still brainwashing left in you. They claim they have the monopoly on violence. You and I both know that's not true. A judge merely delegates violence, and that is true. He never swings the axe himself. So his authority is merely over the people around him who believe the lie of his authority. But a judge does not have a monopoly on violence, nor does the king or CEO, president. That's an entire different class of people, and not the military leaders. The true monopoly on violence comes from true authority, of which there are different grades, and you know that I am somewhere there between Magus and Episimus, which is undefinable. But again, that's where we're at in all this story. And again, you have brought up, and it seems that you fear because of programming left over from Hollywood, from the Romans and the Roman Catholic Church, all the bullshit that they corrupted and all that stuff. That they intently put there to make this difficult, right? They don't want to lose power. There's a promise. Son of Man returns. What would that look like? What would that look like? No one would recognize him. Yeah, it's kind of been like that my whole fucking life. But there's a lot of people that feel like me, and a lot of people who feel, and I understand the confusion, okay? That when you start to go down an awakening process, you get hit by all kinds of things. They're all just trying to grab your attention, and you don't know which way to look, which way, like, what the fuck? And you go to bookstores, and it's just like, this is garbage. I need to talk to real people with real experience. What the fuck? This is no. And then some books you read, like books on Jnana yoga, or like the Raja yoga, and and you just read it, and it's just like, okay, I already understand all this stuff. Blah 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 blah. It's like, and you're like, I can't learn things from books. What the hell? I need to find people. Wait, I can't find the people because I haven't worked on myself. So you figure, and it's a cycle, and there's all these. I don't even know where I'm going anymore with this, and it's really distracting with all the fireworks out there. You threatened me with violence. It's something I would never do for you. I would never threaten you like that. I only ever once became angry and cast an attention your direction. And it wasn't at you. It was around you. And I remember I tried to apologize. I don't know if it ever got through. But I had a lot to learn. And those pieces of me are like gone. I don't understand it. I've learned a lot since, and grown a lot since. And really learn how to connect with people and help people. So I know I'm on the right path, and it's sad that you act the way that you act, because it's not only a waste of energy, it's a waste of an ally. There's no need for this enmity. I'm not actually here to do what you think. And that's what I realize as we've gone through these different verse by verse, like not that I really look at that very often. It's Aronia berry wine. It's pretty much a health drink. It gives me a headache. I realize that it's different visions of different people of this play, so to speak. This interplay isn't just me. So the question I have for you is like, is it possible that those visions are reflective of your own fears? Like what you fear? And I'm not what you think? I don't have any expectations. It's just that there is no reason for you to take it to this level when the only honorable and the only mature and adult thing to do is to have a conversation. And if it's so serious of a matter that you actually feel threatened by me being in your presence, which does not make sense to me. It does not make sense to me because, one, I would never harm you. I would actually put down my life to protect yours. That's just my nature. I would do it for a random stranger. And I do not understand why you would think I was there to harm you or harass you. You know, everybody else gets along fine with me. Everyone else. Why have you chosen to look at me in such a way? What have I done to you? And you have not replied in any way that allows me to understand. We did talk before about masculine and feminine and all this other stuff, and you don't understand. You don't understand what the masculine is. Not truly. Because if you did, you would have far more compassion than what you've ever shown. You do not understand what it takes for a real man to get to that level. Like, our trials are serious. And we've been through it. And what I just went through was beyond. But I'm past that. I'm past the point of even like daily remembering all that stuff. Like, it doesn't. And I don't really think about you very often anymore. Like, I don't watch your shows. I watched one episode. Or whatever, some one live episode, then it was at the end and you're going to do another one, so I listened to that one, and whatever her niche or whatever, and she made some good points, like directly at you about polarity and all this other stuff, and rather than do what you need to do, what's so fucking obvious, right? And we are the ones that are expected to discover and figure out all the subtle hints when the obvious thing is impossible. I don't understand. I really don't. Like, how does any of this stuff make sense in a post-Babylon world where we have small communities, how does this make sense? When people won't get together and solve their differences. Now, what I think this means is that we need a circle, and we need a council, We need a council of men. We need a council of women. We need a men's group and a women's group. But we also need a council of like the elders who actually understand some of the mysteries, have been through it, and real men, not just soy boys, like real men, real warriors. I mean, there's all kinds of types, but they all have to be represented. And you have a problem with me to the point that you threatened me with violence. Are you fucking serious? I don't hardly know how to react. Because, for one, I mean, if I allow it, it hurts pretty deeply. Like, for a person that I still feel love for, because I do, I still feel love for you. As a person, for your work, for your diligence, for what you're trying to accomplish, and add and all this other stuff. I love you for all of that. I do. And but any concept of romance with you, like, you're insufferable. I don't see how you would make a good partner. You have not shown me a side of yourself that would make me think that you are a good partner. I did not understand what was attracting me to you. I do now, because you were the only thing that could do what I needed. So I thank you for that. I really do. I thank you. That's why I can't be mad at you for that shit, even though it wasn't proper. Okay? It's what I needed. I accept that. And I would go before an entire women's council. Is nowhere I wouldn't go to have this conversation. I would prefer it not be in this fictional courtroom experience or whatever. I mean, it's like, really, is that really the places you want to go in life? Because it's not where I want to go. That's not where I want to go. Why would you hate me so much to try to force me to go to a place with concrete block walls and iron bars? You want to do violence upon me. What is wrong with you? Really, what's wrong with you? My path hasn't been easy, and I've had to go and do things that are very uncomfortable, and I've done them as much as possible. face my greatest fears, accept that this thing is almost entirely going to fucking kill me. And, give up essentially my son, attachment to everything that everyone else values. You understand? Like, this isn't some trivial thing. So I go all the way, which is something you must already understand by this point. So if you're really trying to light this fuse right now, like this, I'm just saying there is still a different way that doesn't involve getting caught up in all their bullshit. It's simple. It's really simple. You drive me crazy, and you soak up so much of my energy, and that's why I don't want this. I don't want to do this anymore. I've given you every opportunity to settle this person to person so that we can at least, not be at odds with each other. Because if I hadn't risen above this level and I was still down here with everybody else, I would have given a freaking fiery, stinky uproar, okay? It would have been bad and ugly and all these things that just... But that's not a sensible or wise thing to do. And I'm not even saying that recording this video and posting it is a wise thing to do, because I, of course, understand that you are going to use this against me. If you choose that route, this is all going to be used against me. Look out, this guy. But here's the thing, and it doesn't matter if you use a fucking attorney to lie for you and to cast your case the way you want it without getting your hands dirty. You're still involved. You're doing this to another person. You're committing violence against another person, because I don't want to be there. I don't want to be in handcuffs and make a big scene in front of people because you have chosen the route of violence. I will never act violently, most especially in a sacred space, because I do value that stuff. There are certain rules. Old rules. You taught me some important lessons, and I believe that it's just as fair for me to show you your blind spots. Especially if that's what you're afraid of. It's better just to rip off the Band-Aid. Like, what is that noise? So you must have blind spots. And I think, as I've given it more thought, and I'm now innate. Oh, did I mention I miraculously healed my wound into my head? You have blind spots, and some of your blind spots I don't think are easy for you to see. Of course. That's why they have blind spots. There's no way that you can ignore the fact that you're being hypocritical, both in banning me, censoring, all this other stuff. All for what? Because you don't like my message? I don't understand. You never even made it clear. You're just afraid. You're just afraid. And I can understand why you're afraid, because it is real. And you're very afraid because it is very real. Which is why we needed to have a conversation. You are trusting that their authority outrides mine. I understand that they're more numerous. But you don't understand what I have as my host. So, I again say, and I would also make the point that I am also the stone that was like cast aside. So, I'm not happy. I'm not happy in either direction of that. That they will refuse to make proper contact. And I'm also not happy that that this is likely the source of your hindrance. That oath that you would take to entities would affect the way you treat your fellow people around you and your integrity. That you would lie. And so I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of you going and taking it further. Because I've already laid my life on the down. Okay? And I did terrible and horrible things. Things that changed me forever. And I'm not that same person. So it's unfair for you to continue to treat me that way. And I really can't abide by someone threatening me. If it was you personally saying, I will kick your ass next time I see you, I would actually be scared. I would be genuinely afraid. And the reason for that is because I would not be able to defend myself against you properly. Because I wouldn't want to hurt you. I couldn't. So, what would I do? What would I do? I mean, I tried blocking, pinning you, but as soon as I do something like that, someone's going to see it and think I'm trying to rape you or something. And that's not, you understand? It's not a fair thing. It's really unfair. It's truly unfair the way you've treated me. Now, I don't expect things in life to be fair, but I expect that those who are community builders to live in integrity and treat those around them with fairness, which you have not done. I have anger. I have I have anger because it's it's correct that I have anger. I learned a lot from you, and I appreciate and I enjoy you, okay? So stop with this false fear of like and just be cool, dude. I'm not trying to get in your fucking pants. Okay? Like there's plenty of women that look my direction. What hurts for you to me, and it seems like you intentionally do this to you want to hurt me. What hurts is you looking at me like I'm some fucking monster. That's what hurts. And you know what? I'm sure little midgets and other people like that, they feel that way all the time. And I probably deserve it. Or, not looking people in the eye properly or whatever. I'm sure. But the way that you look at me, the way that you blast me with energy, holy fuck. You shut me down with an energy blast, dude. I don't appreciate that. I admit that there's so much I don't know. It's infinity. People have been creating for the longest period of time. But, if we're reflections for each other, I have worked on myself and improved. And I'm just not seeing it with you over these last few years. I don't see how you've grown. Maybe you can with it yourself. But there's something there that is stunting you. And I'm probably close to figuring it out. But it's really impossible without knowing you better. And I gave you everything, I did. You have a documented account of what it's like to go through an advanced part of an awakening process. An initiation, a fulfillment of prophecy, and a bunch of other shit. And it's pure fucking art. This is all art. In its rawest, most incredible fucking ways. This emotional highs and lows and all these extremes. And it's a thing of beauty, It really is. So much of this is just incredibly beautiful. So I don't understand why you don't want to share that with other people that can see it. Like really, really see it, And I go off on tangents, and I understand you're still in a clockwork fucking mentality or something. I prefer not to be. I can be very precise. Um, I like to get my hands dirty and just be in the soil and be there for people, you know, when I can. This is why this whole thing has been an enormous energy waste now. So this is it, dude. I'm not going to... I don't know what it is that you think I've done. I showed up to 2 public events, gatherings, where you were also there. Okay? And I went to 1 speech at a public gathering in the middle of fucking wintertime where there's nothing else to do anyways. You don't make sense. Your fears are unfounded. There are many people who would vouch for my character, for my integrity, that entrust me with their homes and their lives. So I don't understand where you get your idea of who I am. And it's kind of rather sad. You know, it's totally fine that if a person doesn't like me, totally fine. You know, we just don't get along. There's people I just don't get along with. I don't like narcissists. They turn me off. Any person that wants to dominate every fucking conversation. Yeah, okay, I'll give you 5 minutes and then I'm getting out of here. I gave you a lot of money over the years, and you're not grateful, I don't think. You don't appear to yeah, I think that's enough. Now we're just going off. I'm tired. I think I said what I need to say. If you go through with it in the direction that you're claiming you're going to go through with, and you are choosing a path but I don't think that you are particularly choosing the right path, correct path. I think there's a whole another path that doesn't involve conflict. It requires a willingness to be uncomfortable and figure it out with another person using words. And being honest and open. And if you and I can do it, we can get the rest of the fucking world to do it as well. So why won't you fucking choose peace, Danny? Why won't you do it? That's all I gotta say to you. I'm not going out of my way anymore. So, if you want peace, you have to come to me. Goodbye.